Hey everyone, it's Jessica Michaels here with another memory planner spread today for Color Rush Studio. I'm using the December kits from Color Rush, and these kits are just jam-packed with so much Bella Boulevard supplies. It just makes me so happy. I love it. I absolutely love all these colors, and I'm not typically a color type of girl. I usually stick to my grungy shades and like blues, greens, yellows, and anything black and orange and grungy. So this is really out of my comfort zone, but I absolutely love it. And it's just perfect for memory planner spreads like this. You can use up so many photos in a format like this, and it's something that I absolutely love to do with all of my leftover photos from when I'm done scrapbooking, any photos from my month that go into my large 12 by 12 albums or any of my travel notebooks like camping photos. So this is a really good way to use up any leftover photos you have, is to put it into a memory planner like this. I'm using Heidi Swapp's Stop the Blur memory planner for this one, and I've got some photos from a camping trip there from this weekend that I'm using today from this August weekend. And yes, I'm still working on 2023, but I absolutely love this project, so I just simply cannot let it go. And someday, somehow, I will catch up. Maybe when my kids are older, I'll finally be caught up. But I'm using a lot of photos today. I'm using all of these kits by Color Rush today. I love all of everything in this kit. This one's just perfect because it features the Documented collection by Bella Boulevard. So I've got a tag there that I cut off of one of the cut apart sheets in this kit that I'm going to use as an interactive element. So I'm just going to tape down the top portion of the tag and use it as a flip up element to add my journaling underneath there. And then I'm using stickers from the sticker sheet in the main kit. I'm using a lot of that. So I'm going to be using that one. There's a background paper in this kit that has binder clips on it. I'm going to be cutting out a few of those and using them. Then there's also a paper that has just some word bits. I love adding little wordy phrases and bits to my layouts and projects, so it's just perfect for this or for any project that you have. And then as you can see, I did start the video with my stamping mostly done for all of my dates and things because you guys have seen my memory planner spreads before. This one's really trying to focus on the products from Color Rush, so I just did my stamping off camera, and then I'm going to add some more stamping off camera a little bit later on in this video too. But I've got a whole bunch of photos from this Monday, and I was really kicking around how I'm going to fit all of these photos. I've got 3 that are a different size. They're that smaller, thinner size, and then I've got 6 that are squares. So I was really kicking around like what I was going to do with them and how I was going to incorporate all of those. I'm going to end up doing a little accordion fold, a little kind of pull down album in this and make it interactive. Here's one of those binder clips that I cut off of the binder clip page. It's just called Clips, is that paper, and I just love it. It's just a really, really great paper to cut out all of those clips. I'm going to cut them all out and have them here so I can use them on all of the things. And then I've got those little flag banners that I cut too. I'm going to use that oh yeah one at the top where my kids on the 18th were totally getting all kinds of muddy at our campground, and they actually got in trouble at that weekend by the park ranger because they were actually throwing and flinging mud on people as they went by. And I guess they weren't really hitting anyone, but they did kind of throw mud at some little girls that were riding their bikes. You know, boys will be boys, and they ended up getting in trouble. So it was kind of funny because then that was our thing from there on out. Every time we go camping now, we just say, hey, you know, the park ranger's coming around to make sure you're being good and you're behaving yourself. So they didn't really get in trouble. They just kind of talked to them and said, you know, you shouldn't be doing that. We were sitting right there. The mud puddle was actually right across from our campsite, so we were watching them the whole time, but we were just letting them have fun and just be boys. So that put an end to that, and usually they're pretty good when we go camping, but we were just letting them have a bit of fun. And I'm just going to continue to build this. So I'm kind of working in a scattered layout this time. I try to do these spreads kind of a day by day. It makes them a little bit easier, but I was honestly putting off making that waterfall little flip out thing because I didn't really know how I was going to go about doing it when I first started this. So I'm kind of doing the rest of the layout and the spread, just trying to think about how I'm going to do that. And here's where I'm taking my photos, I'm cutting them apart. I'm going to tackle this portion of the spread. And I just start by cutting apart my photos and getting those prepped. And then I'm just going to take one of the background papers from the Bella papers in this kit, and I'm going to cut a nice long strip. It's actually going to be 2 inches wide. And then I think I just left it at the full 12 inches to start. I thought about using this tag and trying to make this, but it ended up being way too short to be the album kind of base for this. So I wasn't able to use that, but I did love the color and the rainbow in there, but it just didn't end up working out. So this is where I just cut down a strip and I ended up using this instead. I am going to fold it to where I want it to be so I can make sure that my photos fit inside there. I think my photos were about 1 3/4 inches, and they're square, so they're 1 3/4 inches all the way around. And then I just kind of eyeballed everything. So I just wanted to make sure that this was going to fit in there. I did cut this white strip down to about 1 1/4 inches. It's a little bit larger, just because I wanted to have a little white frame, but I ended up not really having a white frame around them because I was just all kind of willy-nilly about how I did this. So then I just started gluing my photos to it and folding it as I go. So I'm just folding it back and forth. Once I lay my next photo down, I want to make sure I have enough space, so I do the folds before the next photo goes down. So I make sure I'm not too close to the top. And then, or the bottom, and then I went ahead and just kept building and going back and forth in that zigzag pattern, just using a bone folder to smooth down each fold as I went so they're nice and folded and creased. And then I'm just building it to the end here. So I have 6 photos on here. I did end up with a blank spot, so I'm just going to add an embellishment. I did think about taking that other picture of my baby girl off of my page, and which I do that, and it actually kind of rips my page a little bit, so I added embellishment instead. But I wanted that one kind of at the top instead of inside this, so I ended up just adding some embellishments to this bottom part, and then I am going to close it up that way. So I just ended up trimming off that very bottom piece, and I have my cute little accordion fold album there. And then I'll just use some double-sided adhesive tape. It's Easy Tear Tape by Thermoweb. It's my favorite adhesives to use in these books because it's really strong and durable, and I know that it's going to hold up well over time. So I'm going to end up using that to stick all of these layers together. And I'm going to pull out my manual die cutting machine here too, because I want this little tag album or accordion fold album, I guess it can be called, to have a little tab at the bottom to actually hold it together so it's not flapping open and all of this is kind of falling down and folding out when people are flipping through this book. So I want to have a little notch in the bottom of this to be able to hold it closed. I'm just basically tucking my photos in here to see how long this needs to be in order to also have that little punched out portion at the bottom to hold this. It ends up being kind of like a little matchbook. If you picture like the way a matchbook is with matches, it ends up kind of being just like one of those where it has a little notch at the bottom to hold the matches, only it's holding photos in my case. So I have a little Heidi Swapp little punch out die here. I'm just going to use at the very bottom of this, and then that will just add that little flap at the bottom to be able to hold this closed when it's in my book. And then I will secure it down with some of the Easy Tear tape to my actual album here. I'm going to end up grabbing my corner rounder as well and round out the bottom of these corners just to give it a little bit more interest. I was thinking about adding that little photo corner, but instead I'm just going to round the corners. There's my Easy Tear tape. I'm just adhering my photo strip to my little flip album here so that that's all secure in there. And then I will round those corners and get it secured into my album here. So that's pretty much going to be my day 14, which was actually my son's birthday. And I didn't even mention anything about it being his birthday in here. And now I feel awful. But you know what? It's okay. Sometimes I don't do a whole lot of journaling and I kind of miss those little bits. So this memory planner is to get me to actually put my journaling in here. But I just had so many photos on this day that I didn't really journal anything on that day. I am going to remove my little baby girl because this album just covered up way too much of her face for my liking. So I'm going to try to remove this gently, but that easy tear tape is very, very durable and very sticky. So it did rip up my page a little bit. Some of it was covered with this little album, so I didn't care. But then I'm just going to grab some embellishments and cover the rest of that up. No big deal. I've got my baby girl photo there. She's going to go on the top of that little flip out album here in a little bit. But as you can see, I'm kind of scattering around which days I'm working on here. So it's kind of just a crazy spread this time. And I'm just all over the place with this, but going back and forth because what happens is, as I'm working on this and flipping through my kit, I keep seeing things that, oh, this would work really great there. And this would work really great over here. So that's kind of why I'm scattering around so much, because I just keep seeing things that I want to add to different days and things that will work. And sometimes for me, these spreads just come together more like a scrapbook page. So I'm kind of working on everything all at once instead of just going day by day. But typically on these, I do try to go day by day just because it just narrows down what I'm working on and makes it a little bit easier. I think in the future though, I'm going to move my August 2023, that little bit that's up here, to the bottom portion on the right, because that portion is just like for notes and just a blank space. So I think I'm going to end up moving that down to the bottom down there in the future, because it just takes up a lot of my Monday to put it up there, and then I end up shifting my photos down into Tuesday, which is fine, and I don't mind it. I don't mind the way that it looks or anything, but I think in the future I'm going to move it down there instead. So here's my little tag. I'm just adding some easy tear tape to the top of my tag. I've also added some baker's twine to tie a little bow at the top. And then this is going to act as my little flip up element so I can do some hidden journaling underneath there. I loved that it said about the photo of the day. It really was the photo of the day. He started kinder camp that day, and it was just a perfect little tag to put next to those photos. My son did not want to go to school. He didn't go to preschool because he just was not ready for that commitment, and he's very, very young. He only turned 5 2 weeks before kindergarten, so he's probably the youngest in his class, and he's struggling a little bit, but he was on the struggle bus from day one. He just did not want to go to school at all, but he went to this kinder camp that day and he made a friend and he was so excited. It was literally the best thing for him. It was just so funny because he came out immediately saying how much fun it was, and then he made a friend, and he's from Pennsylvania, and he was just so excited. They must have been teaching the kids to tell people, I'm from Pennsylvania. So that was his big thing that he was on for weeks after this. He just kept repeating it over and over, and it was just so sweet. So that's really what got him excited for kindergarten, and it just made things so much easier for that transition. So I am all for that. And they actually didn't do kinder camp this past year for my middle child, which I was a little bit upset about, because that's what got my first son so excited. But my second and middle child went to pre-K, so he was absolutely fine and he was ready for it. So we didn't have any issues with him. Every kid is different. It is just absolutely crazy how every child literally is so different, and the situations can change from kid to kid. It's just amazing to me. I've got some stamps here that I'm using just to fill in these spaces here, and I'm going to do some journaling down here, but I have 2 photos on this day, so I decided to make it kind of like a little list with a 1 and 2. So I did my journaling off camera there, but I did stamp the 1 and 2 to go with my photos, and I've got that Be Bold there that's stuck down by my 1 photo with goals, as my little sticker, my star sticker there from the sticker sheet, because my son learned to ride his bike at the campground with no training wheels that day. And he was so excited and proud of himself. And we were so proud of him. And he did an amazing job. And mind you, this is the same child that is very stubborn and did not want to go to school. So you can tell what kind of child he is. He's very much a outside kid, and you can see my middle child here is giving me some tags. He's trying to make bracelets right now, so you're going to see him popping into the video quite a bit because he's trying to make necklaces and bracelets, and he doesn't know how to tie yet. So we are having to stop and tie things for him as we go here. But on this spread, I put that Be Bold down there with the goal sticker. I just thought that was perfect for my son learning to ride his bike with no training wheels. One push and he was good to go. And I just thought those letters that said, "Look, Ma," kind of like, "Look, Ma, no hands." But I just thought it would be perfect for that. And then I'm just adding some little words and phrases and different things from the kit to embellish the rest of this. And I just love this. I love how it came together. I just think it looks super cute. I love all the colors and how everything is just so vibrant and gorgeous. This kit worked out so well for this spread. I've got some more things coming for you the rest of this month on Fridays as usual. And I've got a couple more layouts coming for you and lots of other things for this month. So stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and watching my process today. And I hope you are able to grab the kits from the shop. I will make sure I link them below in the description for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for being here and have a great day. Bye-bye.